We're just gonna sing the intro song.
We have words?
No, we can just do the do 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 do
If there's a
do
movie you gotta see, it's this one. Come and see Jim and Michael doing movies. Gotta see it right now. There it is.
How's that?
Lock it up. All right, welcome to You Gotta See This Movie podcast of two guys who like to talk about movies as well as the deeper things that make these stories more than just a movie. All right, we are back for season 3.
Season 3.
Jim, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
It's not like I haven't seen you, but
You like the new set?
I do. I mean,
We
yeah,
we added
we added some things.
we expanded a few feet,
We added depth.
a few more bits and pieces.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really digging the blue.
You like the blue?
I like
like the
that. What,
blue.
real quick, before we go any further, why don't you tell us what that?
blue.
We did talk about that in our Abyss episode.
You'd have to
but-
look at the Abyss episode, and I'll tell you all about what
All
that
right.
is.
Yeah, so go to the Abyss episode. We're
Yeah.
not going to talk about this here. Ridiculous.
We're going to repeat ourselves.
No.
We don't have time for that.
All right. Well, it's another year, another movies. And before we talk about that, please, if you are someone that loves movies and loves to talk about movies, please like and subscribe. That really helps us out. We need to have a goal this year. How many new subscribers?
Oh,
We'll figure that out later.
at least
but
3 or 4 new ones, right?
if we can get 3 or 4 new subscribers this year,
That'd be awesome.
that'd be great.
And not lose any.
And it could be you. Yeah,
Not lose
it
any.
could be you.
Hang on.
But yeah, please like and subscribe. It will cost you nothing, but it means the world to us. So, yeah. So,
Yeah.
all right, Jim. Before we go any closer or any further, I gotta know. We're in a new year, new movies. Did you have a not a favorite movie or a movie you liked? A new movie or a first time watch from 2024?
2024. That's tough because I don't remember watching a lot of new stuff in 2024. The Alien movie.
Yeah.
Romulus?
Yeah,
Not
it's a good
Romulan,
one.
that's Star Trek. Yeah. It was okay.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Good alien movie.
Yeah.
Crazy ending.
You know, it held my attention through the whole thing. The ending's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's unintentionally hilarious, but it was a lot of fun. It was one of those like Saturday matinee freak out, fun
Yes.
ending.
I did not see that coming.
Yeah, that was good.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked Alien. That's probably my favorite movie of the year. I don't know. I always I like to review movies, but I also know that I'm a horrible reviewer because I love just movies that entertain me. And I think the whole Alien franchise, anything Alien, like I will see anytime and I will probably like it. So,
The movie's got to be fun.
right.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So it doesn't necessarily need to be a great movie to be a fun movie.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, Frozen Empire came out too.
That's
Ghostbusters.
right.
That
That's
was
right.
Yeah. That was all right.
It was decent. It was good.
It was decent. There's too many plot lines going on though. There's too many different
Yes.
just focus on one thing going on, one group, one yeah.
I will say though, what I did like about Frozen Empire is that they used the original cast better than they did in the Afterlife.
Yeah.
It was good to see them actually
Yeah.
participate and be part of the plot and
Yeah. That was good.
that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I really liked Aliens. Furiosa was good. Wild Robot was really good. That was a really good movie. I kind of did not want to see that because I thought it was going to be an Iron Giant ripoff. It was not. It was completely different.
Yeah, there's these movies I got to see.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was a good year for movies. It always is. All right, well.
First off, you still have the Duke
Oh,
from last season.
that's true. I do.
Should we just clean slate it?
It's a clean slate.
Clean slate
It's a
it.
new seat. So
Let's
it's now over here.
Yeah. Start over. Reset the game.
We're resetting it.
You're putting it a little too close to me, but right.
Well, I don't know what true center is.
Right here.
I feel like.
Right here.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
That's good. All right.
But yeah, I think you did win it last, or I'm sorry. Do I win it if I'm that good, or do you win it? Like, how do we say? Loser gets the Duke.
Yeah, the loser gets the
Okay,
Duke.
so I got the Duke because I lost to in
Yeah.
our Monster House episode.
It's not a trophy you want to have.
No. What is the movie, starting off the year strong, what is the movie you got to see?
The movie you've got to see is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. Everybody's seen this movie, right? Maybe not. There's a whole new generation that may have not seen it.
Right.
Yeah.
I tell you, my kids have never seen it.
Well, there you go.
And they were excited to watch it.
Did they watch it?
And well, a little bit, because then we completely forgot how much language that
It wasn't too heavy on the language.
It's pretty heavy.
Was it?
You know what's funny? Like, you can watch a movie.
Yeah.
And you can be completely oblivious to it, but the minute you're worried about someone's thoughts, it just becomes everything becomes amplified.
Yeah, I guess
and
they
I
stick
was
out.
hyper aware of the language. And my two older kids, they know these words, they know not to say these words.
Yeah.
And so I'm okay. And it wasn't crass or bad use of language, of bad words. I think this movie's a great use of bad words. But if that's
a great use.
it's
of
a great
bad
use. Yeah, it's a decent,
an appropriately used bad word.
Right. But for my youngest, who really thought it was a funny idea premise, she was all for it. So we had to stop it and you can't watch this no more. So
you need the TV version.
Right.
Oh, I might have one on VHS.
Right. So yeah. But the cool thing is even just the couple, I don't know, we probably got 15, 20 minutes into the movie before, I'm not going to name any names, but the other parent in the household said, we're done.
Pull the plug.
We're
out.
But they were all for it. So
well, yeah,
they
fun.
were in it and for it.
Kids being
yeah.
So the synopsis is right off of IMDb that I wrote down here. A brash, cocky high school senior, tired of skipping school to spend a boring day at home, is determined to enjoy an epic day roaring around his favorite Chicago sights, enlisting his best friend and girlfriend to join him on the adventure
of a lifetime.
Of a lifetime. Let's add that. That makes it our own.
Right.
Yeah.
So what's your history with this movie? Because I was trying to think of mine, and I don't know, it's not as spectacular.
It's funny. The only memory, I remember seeing it in the theater with friends, but I don't have any really memories of it. But I remember my uncle saw it, and he's like, yeah, that was really funny because at the end, he talks to the audience and tells you to go home. And for some reason, that just stuck in my mind. He just thought that was the funniest thing ever.
Dang it. That was something I wanted to look up.
What?
What was the first movie to ever do that? I don't think it was this. But just that whole
after the credits, they tell you to go home.
Yeah, I don't think it was this.
For some reason, didn't they do that in the Muppet movie? Doesn't Animal tell you to go home?
Yeah, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah.
He yells at the screen, "Go home, go home."
I remember my first ever seen a movie that did that was Masters of the Universe, and Skeletor at the end just pops his head up, says, "I'll be back," which he did not. He never came back. They never made a sequel.
What did he tell you to go home though?
No.
See, that's different.
But just the whole idea, there's something at the end of the credits to wait for, because that's such a huge thing now with movies. But
yeah. No, this is specifically talking to the audience, telling them to.
You're still here.
You're still here. Go home. Go home.
Yeah. Yeah. For me, I think this was one of those movies that I don't remember the first time ever watching it. I don't I know I didn't see it in theaters, and I do think it was one of those movies that I knew about it, and I knew certain scenes, I knew things about it, I knew all the pop culture stuff before I actually sat down to watch it. But I loved it. You know, John Hughes. Some would argue it's like the 80s movie. Like if you were to, someone wants to say, hey, what were the 80s like in movies? Someone say, start with this film first.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, pop culture, music.
Mm-hmm.
We remember our youth, high school years as far as, clothes and fashion. So you get all of that.
Yeah.
Business world, parents. Yeah. It's all there.
All the yuppie parents and the cars and all that kind of stuff. But
that's how I date a movie. It's like, wait for a car. Wait for a car to come rolling through and like, okay.
Car. Yeah, the car that the principal drove. It was like a Dodge something.
It was like a Chrysler K car or something.
And it was the exact car my grandparents drove.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I remember when that was a new car for my grandparents. They're like, we got a new car. It's this one.
And every family had a station wagon.
Yep.
Either a Chevy a Ford Country Squire or a Chevy, whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
A station wagon.
But
and his sister had a Fiero. Remember the Fiero? Remember those?
Yes.
Things? Yeah.
Yeah. I used to think they were so cool because I didn't know much about cars, and to me it was like, hey, that's a Ferrari, but it's not.
It's a Fiero.
It's a Fiero.
It was like mid-engine, which is cool. And I think the big thing was that the body panels come off and you can like swap them out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about that.
I don't know if they were fiberglass or if they just,
So what was the deal with the Fieros? Well, that was just like a poor man's Ferrari at the time?
I think it's just a poor man's sports car.
Poor man's sports car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's not a poor
You
man.
realize too.
It was the rich girl's sports car because like girls seem to be attracted to that car.
Fieros.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
cool.
Pontiac Fiero.
So this was like you mentioned, John Hughes film.
Did I say 1986? I don't know if I did.
Yeah,
I think 1986. Yeah.
I was kind of reading about like his whole, like because I looked it up after thinking about this as I'm watching the movie. It's like, how do you even just come up with a movie about like, oh, I'm gonna write a movie about a guy who, he's that guy that everyone knows that gets away with everything, charming. He's almost looks like he's invincible to everything. It's like, where did he come up with just this idea of coming that? And I guess it turns out that he had a guy in high school that was like just like this guy, and then he had another guy in high school with the last name Bueller, so that's where he got the name.
Oh, okay.
Another friend in high school.
I just figured he was like, oh, let's just do a movie about the best day kid at school.
No,
it was more about the guy. More about the guy. Yeah.
And that was one thing too I learned about John Hughes is that you look at it now that he doesn't really necessarily care about the story. He just cares about like the people. He said the story is within the people, not necessarily like what the story that the people are going to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So he said like even this movie, when he tries to pitch it, people are like, they didn't get it. So what's the point? Breakfast Club. Wait, so they're in this one room the whole day?
Yeah.
Where does the story go?
Yeah.
He says, no, the story's within the people. And I think that was his genius. And it was just what he knew. Cause I was watching an interview with him. He just says like, he says, I don't understand plots. I don't understand how people like an Agatha Christie who can create all these different plot devices and move the story forward. He says, I don't know how to do that. He says, but I know people. I know characters. And he says, when I write a character, it's like, I want them to be my friends, and I treat them as friends. So like, I respect them and like,
right.
I want to know where they're going. And so really it wasn't like, a genius. It was just more of him. Like, I'm going to write what I know, and I'm going to stick to what I'm good at. I'm not going to worry about,
right.
But once he cranked out a couple good ones and people are saying, okay, John, just do what you want. And then you get a movie like Curly Sue. They all can't be great, but
Oh, you ever see? I've never seen.
I remember seeing
it
it as a kid, but it was not memorable. Other than the girl in the cover of the movie, and then I think it was Jim Belushi was in that movie.
Yeah,
but yeah, not memorable at all.
Well, I've always said this.
Yeah.
Movies are lightning in a bottle. I mean, you could have the best writer, best director, best actors, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yep.
But this one works. I mean, you've got every character is great. You got Ferris Bueller, Matthew Broderick. I mean, he's a genius, incredibly talented, just funny kid.
Right.
All his expressions and everything, and Jeffrey Jones.
Jeffrey Jones,
the principal, is hilarious. All his expressions and reactions and just acting with his eyes, and he's great. And Cameron, he's a total hot mess in the movie. Being the rich kid and nobody cares about him. His family doesn't care about him.
Lives in a museum. As Ferris Bueller described it.
Yes, it's cold. It's clean.
Mm-hmm.
You're not allowed to touch anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Horrible.
And his sister, who just can't stand that her brother is getting away with it again.
Which is that's perfect. I think every sibling can relate to that.
Yeah.
And I think he plays the younger sibling out of those two, right? From what I understand, I don't know if he was the oldest or the youngest.
He's got to be younger, right?
Right.
Yeah, because his sister got the car first.
That's right.
And then he wanted a car, and he got a computer. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think every sibling just can relate to that.
Yeah.
Like, why do they keep getting away with that? Yeah. Does anyone else see what they're doing? Like, I see through him.
Yeah.
And she's right.
Yeah.
She was right. The parents were blinded.
Yeah. He's putting on a show for his mom and dad, his mommy and his daddy, and he's sick in bed.
Yeah.
And when they turn away, he gives his sister a wink.
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
And that was one thing too I liked about this movie was the lengths that he goes through to keep this ruse up. You know what I mean? Like he's thinking, he's the classic term of like, hey, everyone's playing checkers, I'm playing chess.
Yeah.
Because I am 5 steps ahead of everybody.
Yeah, it is more of a chess game. Genius isn't the right word for it. He's bold and he takes chances.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not like he's like not like a Jack Sparrow where everything's just working out for him, but he's just kind of going through the moment. Like he planned everything out. Like even just the whole idea when the mom comes in and she opens the door just to check on him. And just the weight of was just enough for just like to show like there's the mannequin moving.
Yeah.
And it wasn't dramatic or anything, but and then him having all the sound effects. The fact that when he knew that the principal was not going to believe that Sloane's father was calling about a death in the family, he knew that wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
He had her rearrange her answering machine saying there's a death in the family. Call this number. Then he was the voice of the mortician mortician. Like it's just way far ahead of everybody.
Yeah, because he's got an idea.
Yeah.
And then he's got 3 or 4 steps ahead worked out in his head.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to go to the restaurant. I'm going to pretend to be somebody on the list.
Yeah.
They're going to question me. I do the fake phone call gag.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at any point, like all his friends are just like, no, we need to just give up. Like, okay, that was fun for a little bit, but let's go.
Yeah. He's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah. Just way ahead.
I mean, even when he sneaks into the cab when his dad is standing right there, because in his mind, he's just thinking his dad's talking to his clients. It only takes us 2 seconds to go from here into the cab. His dad probably won't turn around.
Won't even turn around.
Won't even turn around. Never see him.
Yep.
Sure enough.
Yeah. When they pulled up next to the dad and they're in the cab, and then I guess when he's running next to the dad, he just knows like, oh, the dad's not gonna. Yeah. It's gonna take a while for the dad to register what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Get a glance. Not gonna register. Quick, make your move.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He had it all figured out, and he hacked into the grades. hacked in his whole attendance thing, removed the 9 times.
9 times.
But, so that's Ferris. And then you mentioned Cameron, which I have a hard time. Like, I was watching it last night. Like, who has the bigger? Because Ferris Bueller really doesn't have like a character development arc. He just kind of goes. He has his mission in the beginning, and he sees it through all the way to the end.
Yeah, he plays his character all the way through.
Yeah, but like Cameron really has the character development, like that you see. You see his whole story play out. And again, it's just like John Hughes is writing this. He created this character, Cameron, who is the complete opposite to Ferris, right?
Yeah,
he's the sick, and I'm going to stay home. I wanted to stay in bed. And it's like, you're not sick. You just don't have nothing better to do.
Yeah.
Like Ferris knew that.
I've always watched the movie, and and it starts out with Ferris being real demanding, of Cameron. Get in your car, get over here, we're going to have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
And forcing him to do things that he probably wouldn't do, like, give up his dad's Ferrari and go on a joyride. But this time around, it was almost like Ferris really wasn't in it for himself so much, even though everything he does is kind of what he wants to do, sort of. But it almost seemed like every move that he made was something to help his friend.
Yes,
that's kind. Yeah, and I didn't. This is the first time I actually really saw that. It's like, I want to do something for him. Let's, we're gonna, obviously we're gonna take your dad's car out, but really, maybe it's something that Cameron needs. Cameron needs to do something bold like that.
He does mention that, like, if we're at the end of our high school life, it's only going to get harder.
Yeah.
Like, this is the kind of time to do that stuff.
Yeah.
But I do think like they genuinely need each other.
Yeah.
Right. Like Cameron needed that Ferris to really, to experience life, to get out of the house. And then Ferris needed him for some of the gags that he, I don't know if Ferris would be able to pull some of these things off if it wasn't for Cameron.
Yeah, because he was great on the phone too, pretending to be Mr. Peterson, and
yeah, that's a great scene. But I think too, just the yin and the yang with Cameron and Ferris was really good, because it's the whole idea that, well, we'll take movies for example. How like me and you, we can watch the same movies and get something completely different.
Yeah.
Like they're experiencing the same day, but yet completely different perspectives.
Well, and Ferris, he genuinely is concerned about Cameron's future.
Yes.
Like, you need to snap out of this. You need to start seeing things differently. Because he kind of already, it's like he's playing chess with Cameron's life too. It's like, if you don't, take these risks or take these steps or stop looking at it this way, your life's going to be really messed up.
Yeah.
But anyways, that was kind of the first time I actually thought, because I've seen it so many times, and it's always just been, a fun, kids, the grandest day of skipping school, but it's a lot more than that. I mean, I know there's always that John Hughes deep depth to it, but even more so this time around.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you, before we go any further, I want to talk about, Jeffrey Jones and all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to ask you, if you had a Ferris Bueller day, what would you have done? Like, what would be 2 things you're like, I'd have to do this?
Oh, man.
Like, you now.
Oh, me now?
Yeah, not
right.
like back then.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I mean, I definitely wouldn't have taken high school so seriously, that's for sure.
Yeah. Which is, it's funny you mentioned that, because that, I think that was also the point that John Hughes wanted to make, was there's obviously school's important. We need to learn.
Yeah.
But like what they were learning, like when Ben Stein was just going over all that stuff, and you just see all those kids, he showed a lot of kids, and you can tell like they're not learning anything.
Yeah.
They're just there because they have to be there, but yeah, you're right. It's just like, there are some things in school, like, would I have taken it seriously looking back at it now, or would I have enjoyed my time a little bit more?
Yeah. Well, you think about the public education system, and then versus like homeschooling, it's like you get everything. You can get everything in that day of schooling in just a couple hours.
Yeah.
Versus spending all day at school. So, what am I trying to say? I don't know. It's almost like, Ferris he realizes that there's stuff going on and stuff you need to learn, but
Right.
Yeah.
Wise beyond his years.
Yeah. But what would I do? I don't know. Just cruise, drive, go for a hike.
Yeah.
I don't know. We used to do that. We lived kind of in the foothills, so we'd have like hiking trails and stuff.
Johnston pasture, right?
Yeah, just in my area was Monrovia Canyon Park. Yeah, just hop in the car and just go up in the canyon and go for a hike. And
Did you ever go to the Arcadia Falls?
Arcadia Falls.
I think it was in Arcadia, but there's like a waterfall that was a hike.
Oh.
That's off topic.
Yeah. There was a falls.
Yeah.
There was a falls. Yeah. We made some high school films in the canyon,
Nice.
kid stuff. Yeah. But probably would have had more trips just doing that, just kind of blowing off school and enjoying being with your friends and goofing off.
Yeah.
I'm not one to venture into the city and go up up a skyscraper and look down at things. Yeah. I don't know. What would you do?
Well,
Or what did you do?
I was pretty much like Ferris, but not all, devious. I just wouldn't go to school. Well, at least my senior year.
Yeah.
And I would, I definitely had the mindset of like, hey, I want to have fun. I would go to school, but then I'd always leave or I'd ditch a class. And it almost cost me my graduation. So there definitely is like, I get Ferris Bueller, but at the same time, like, there are responsibilities you have to do. So, but yeah, I definitely had that mindset of, is this important? Like at the end of the day, am I going to need this? Am I going to go to college? At the time, I wasn't really thinking about going to college, so I didn't really want to push myself.
Yeah.
But I definitely had some days where we went to the beach and, went to Bowinkles, which is like
Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
Miniature golf. Little bit of miniature golf and bumper boats.
Kind of did that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I always had the thrill. I liked trying to sneak back into school. Like there was something about that. Like I want to go off, have some fun, and then I'm going to sneak back in. That was always fun for me.
Yeah, I never did any really sneaking away. I was the kid that always got caught. Just like, I'm going to get caught.
Yep.
That's just me.
Yeah.
If I try to do something, I'm going to get caught. Yeah. Friends won't. I will.
Friends won't, but you.
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, let's talk about the villain, if there is one in this movie. Because is he a villain? He's just trying to do his job. Poor guy.
Well, yeah, he's sick of this kid, faking his absences and making him look bad, and poor guy.
Yeah. The dean of students, Ed Rooney.
The dean of students.
Yeah.
Is he not the principal?
He's not the principal.
Who's the principal?
I don't know. You won't, because I worked, in the education.
Is there a dean of students?
The person who does the discipline is always like the vice principal. Is always like, they're like the bad guys at the school.
Oh boy. Yeah.
So, it was never like the principal that dealt with this stuff. So I think he was the dean of students. And I didn't think he says that like, I'm Ed Rooney, dean of students, talking about Ferris. But, he's the villain, but he is the guy who, he says something very interesting about Ferris. He says Ferris is like a bad example to all the good kids.
Yeah.
Like kids like him are gonna like ruin all the good kids.
Yeah, because if all the other kids were just kind of doing their thing and Ferris was out of control, just let it go.
Right.
But in his mind, which is reality, he's giving a lot of good kids bad ideas.
But I try to think like, what does that mean? Like, what is his, someone like him, and again, like working in the school district or working in schools for 15 plus years, like you've seen guys like him and they are all about control. And I think to him, the good kids, because I think Ferris is, he's a good kid. He's not like doing drugs or, it wasn't like he wanted to ditch to go do drugs or do all these bad things. I think for him, it's like the good kids are the kids that he can control, the ones that fear him. Whereas Ferris is the wild card and does not fear him, and he cannot control Ferris.
Yeah, because it's not like he's committing any crimes.
Right.
You can't call the police.
Yeah.
What did he do? Nothing.
Yeah. He didn't steal the food in the restaurant. He snuck into the restaurant, but he still paid for the food.
Still paid for the food.
So
yeah,
there's all that kind of stuff.
They didn't steal the dad's car. They just borrowed it.
They borrowed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, he can't control them.
Yeah.
So he's the guy that, and again, I see these in teachers or different people, like I always tell myself, like, man, if I can go back with the mind that I have now and realize how much control teachers do not have, like, I wish I could, you know what I mean? Like, to live that out.
Well, you see it now in schools where some kids are just like completely out of control, and the teacher's like, I can't do anything. And you're like, what do you mean you can't do anything?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. The kids have figured it out.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of times though, it was a lot of time these teachers always had this like I got to win the argument rather than whatever the situation is, and always made the situations worse. Like, yes, is there a respect and is there a level of authority that teachers should have? Or like in my position I have, yes, but I always knew where that line was, and I never overstood it or stepped it.
Yeah. And
I think he definitely oversteps it. Why? Because at the end of the day, he breaks into the kid's house.
Yeah.
That is like the ultimate.
Yeah.
I always wonder, like, did this guy end up getting fired?
Yeah. I mean, really, he goes to the house and he's like, Ferris, I know you're in there.
Yeah.
He gets the fake recording. As soon as he knows it's fake, he knows he's not there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So he should have said he's not here. He's out. Walk away.
Walk away. It's over. Like, there's nothing you can do.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't make for a good movie.
No, it wouldn't. No.
Because him having those moments of, realizing he messed up, like when he's talking to he thinks he's talking to the Sloane's dad.
Yeah.
And he's saying all these things to him. You're like, oh yeah, why don't you just bring the body? I need to see the body of the good grandma.
Yeah.
And then when he realizes that he thinks it's Ferris, but it's on the other line. He
realizes it's not.
I think it's one of the best lines or best scenes in the movie with Jeffrey Jones is all of a sudden just realizing I messed up.
You can
see it in his head. How am I going to get back on the other line? What am I going to say? How am I going to apologize? It's just really good. And like, they couldn't have picked a better actor to play Mr. Rooney.
And his toadie's great too.
Oh yes, Grace.
Yeah. And is toadie the right word?
She's hilarious.
She's really funny though. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's ditzy, but she knows the school.
She knows the school.
Right. She knows the kids.
Yep.
She knows all about Ferris.
Yeah. Even when the sister comes in, she's like, "Oh, aren't you supposed to be in this class right now?"
Yeah.
She has it down to, and she even knows too, like he's going overboard. Like you need to calm down, but yeah, at the end of the day, and I guess too, I read something to where his in the script, his character is supposed to end like when Sloane leaves, like when he finally walks her out.
Yeah.
And he says like, oh, well, that's how they do that in their house.
I guess that's my dad. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I guess it's supposed to end there, but because he just did so well, they added more scenes.
They
kept going and did the hunting and following him all over the place and going where he thinks Ferris would go.
Yeah. The arcade.
Mm-hmm.
And just keeps missing him. Ferris is on TV at the ball game and he misses it. Yeah.
Oh, that's another thing. The whole subplot of the word getting out that this kid Ferris needs help.
Yeah.
Right, that he's dying.
He's dying. Yeah.
And the legend of, Ferris.
Yeah.
Because it gets to the ball game. It gets like on the water tower.
Yeah. Save Ferris.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like going everywhere he goes.
Yeah.
Which is hilarious. Which, this is pre-internet day. How did the word get around?
Yeah.
So that's good.
Let's talk about the parade. I don't know why. It's like just an iconic scene where.
Yeah.
He's all, Cameron, you think you haven't seen anything all day? Well, check me out. I'm on a parade float singing songs with the whole town joining in.
And again, it's just one of those things where it's like, how did he pull that off? Like, he just jumped up there and, the judges were all upset, but everyone at the end of the day was singing and dancing too.
He's the kind of guy that everybody, all the kids know him. All the kids are cheering for him. Yep. I bet the townspeople know him too.
Yeah.
Hey, Ferris, hey, come on up. Hop on up. Want to sing a song? Yeah.
Or maybe they don't know him, but yet like his charisma and just his like, hey,
Well, he could have faked it too. He could have said, I'm the son of the float master, mayor, or whoever's in charge of the float. Like, oh, take the mic then.
He sings that Donkashay song.
Yeah, Wayne Newton.
Who's it? Wayne Newton.
That voice baffles me because it sounds like a woman.
So here's the thing.
What?
I always thought that he was singing that song, that it was Matthew Broderick.
Oh, singing like a woman.
And it wasn't until like years later that I knew like, oh no, because I always knew it was a Wayne Newton song, but I didn't know that was Wayne Newton's voice.
Isn't that wild? His voice is wild. I mean, and crazy popular, but man, that guy's got a bizarre voice.
So when I first saw the movie, I thought that was him just singing Donkashay.
Oh.
That was his song.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But
then I knew he lip synced to the Beatles.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that was so going back to the whole idea that Ferris is one step ahead. He's got it all planned out. The one thing he didn't have planned out was the car. Like he had that bright idea, like, oh yeah, we'll just drive the car back in reverse.
Yeah.
We'll reverse the odometer. No one will know.
Yeah.
Like the one thing he did not know what was going to happen.
I'm surprised he even cared. Like, oh, maybe he did. Maybe he did. Yeah. He didn't want Cameron to get in trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
And he thought, I think he generally thought like, oh, I have a plan, like so that you won't get caught.
Yeah. We'll just take the car out. We'll do our thing.
Yep. And then the two guys that, which is hilarious, which is just like like a little like added cherry to the movie.
Yeah.
Like it's just like 2 or 3 scenes where you see them just enjoying life in the car, which doing something Ferris would probably do if they were in his position or he was in their position.
Oh yeah, they were having their Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, they were having their Ferris Bueller moment.
Yeah, they're just a couple of guys with their boring job parking cars, and they're gonna have a day off.
This car comes in. How can we not?
Yeah.
Take advantage of this moment.
Yeah, they probably had to have some ruse with the boss of the parking garage, and I just gotta move this car to the lower level. Yeah,
and the little Star Wars nod.
Yeah,
it was always good.
They trashed that car though.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no way they brought it back unscathed. I mean, he pulls out of the driveway, and then his buddy jumps in the back. I'm thinking,
there's got to be a scuff, right?
Yeah, he scrapes his shoe across that paint. He probably rips the upholstery, right?
There's no way.
There's no way.
Back looking the same.
There's no
enough
way.
For them to. The only thing he noticed was the odometer.
Yeah. No, there's rip. There's a dent, scuff, rips, and the whole bottom of the thing's just trash when they hit the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's comedy though.
It's comedy. So, it's not the end of the movie, but it is kind of like the moment. It's the John Hughes moment when they're finally back with the car and Cameron realizes that, which I love because he like flips out when he realizes that the odometer was way higher.
Yeah.
Almost to the point where he's like, I'm just going to go jump into this water and die because it's better than facing my father.
Yeah.
Which I love because this progresses, right?
Yeah.
Then they get the car in and they're like, well, we'll just have to make sure this thing goes in reverse for a long time.
Yeah.
And then it progresses even further. Oh, that didn't work.
Yeah, because at that point he's saying, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Yep.
There's really no way of hiding this.
Yeah.
And that's when he starts to get mad, because now he starts to think like, I'm gonna get trouble by this guy that doesn't care about me.
Right.
And then he really starts boiling.
Yeah.
And that's when he starts kicking the car.
And he has this moment too where it is like he's going through something. He's releasing. He's accepting. It's just it's the moment that I think everyone has something in their life where they're making a pivot in life and I don't think it's I think it's just like the whole idea like I need to have a conversation with my dad.
Yeah.
I need to not be afraid. I need to stand up for myself. And I don't think it was like he was being abused or anything. I think it was just more like neglect or
he just didn't give any attention. I mean, obviously the kid's cared for.
Right.
But, I mean, but not emotionally.
And again, going back to these amazing moments of the face, and with Cameron, it's very quick, so you got to pause it. But the look on Cameron's face when he starts kicking, and he's like, I feel so good now, and I'm gonna stand up to my dad, and like we have those moments, and I love how it's like, okay, you're gonna stand up to your dad. Let's see how much you're gonna stand up to your dad now.
Yeah.
He kicks the car off. Car goes in reverse, crashes through the window, and yet the moment you see him, I think he like just puts his foot on it, right?
Yeah.
And then it just drives forward.
Yeah, almost like he's relieved.
You see his eyes like, oh my gosh, like it's still moving.
Yeah.
And goes to the bottom.
Done. Killed the car.
It's done.
Yeah.
Which I heard was a Ford, not the real Ferrari, of course.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, just a Ford with a plastic Ferrari thing on the top.
Yeah.
But that's it. That's all we see from Cameron.
Yeah.
He has that realization, like, no, this is good. And even Ferris says, I'll take the blame.
Yeah.
And he says, no, don't want you to do that.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah.
This is going to be a good thing. And we don't ever hear from him again.
Yeah. Do you think they plotted something where they faked a break-in? No.
I don't know.
No.
Because you would think that's what he would do. Like you would think that's where Ferris would probably shine, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, no, we can do this. We'll say this.
We'll make a phone call. We'll put
right. Ferris is the guy that you want to call when you want to like bury a body, right?
Yeah.
Like, help me figure this out.
Yeah.
And but no, I think it was strictly like, nope, I'm gonna tell my dad exactly what happened.
Yeah.
I kicked the car.
Yeah.
So the only time that these two people, like, you got Ferris and Rooney, ever share any screen time, like you got the hero, you got the villain, it's at the very end of the movie.
On his doorstep. He's looking for the key.
And again, it's like almost 6:00. It's like, what are you doing at this kid's house? Like, you should have just given this up a long time ago.
Well, even after he got kicked in the face by his sister, he should have been way out of there.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
Ha!
Yeah.
It's like, what did you think you were going to catch? Yeah. Like, even if Ferris was in there, like, get out of my house, man.
Yeah.
80s were wild.
That's wild.
Principals did some crazy things.
Yeah.
But, it's the only scene he said, and Ferris didn't say a word for him. Like, you can see the fear in his eyes.
Yeah.
Ferris is giving up. And if there's one not negative thing about this movie that I have, or just one like complaint, was I don't understand the sisters all of a sudden having the moment of, oh no, I'll save you. Like, to me, it kind of came out of nowhere.
Well, it's weird because when she has that sort of, when she meets the, Charlie Sheen, the delinquent in the police station, she had sort of a revelation, sort of a change of heart a bit there.
Yes.
So if she carried that to that scene, it works. But then she sees Ferris in the car.
Yeah. And she's like, I'm going to get home before he does.
Yeah.
Just to prove like he's wrong. Or is she getting home to save him? I don't know.
Well, I think she was more just sticking it to Rooney, though, when she sees that her brother is confronted by the dean of what they call again? The dean
of students.
The dean of students. Yeah. She's just like, I hate you more than Ferris.
Yes, you're in my house.
I hate you more. Yeah,
maybe that's what it is, because that got her in trouble because they said she called a fake police report.
Yeah.
And she wasn't. There was a genuine intruder in her house.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think she just quickly weighed her hatred
Yeah,
between the two
I
and
guess.
just said, "You're off the hook, Ferris.
you're off the hook for this time.
This time."
So,
Yeah.
but that saves him.
Yep.
And then the dog rips him to shreds.
Yeah. And then he has to ride back to
Has to ride
school
up.
in the school bus.
Again, another funny scene.
Yeah.
But. All right. So my last question to you as we wrap this up before we get into trivia battle is, where do you think Ferris went from here? Like if you were to think like his life, because all we get is this one moment, this one day in his life and who he is. And I guess there were talks of sequels. Like there was one where they wanted to do him in college. They wanted to do him at a job, like taking the day off in a job. And of course, nothing ever panned out, which I'm glad they didn't, because this is a good on its own.
Yeah, I mean, you would.
But it does make me wonder.
Yeah, I mean, he's a likable guy, and you would think,
Yes.
oh, maybe he became like a politician, but then he doesn't. He's not slimy like a politician.
No.
You know, I don't
I
think.
think he would have known better. I don't think that would have been.
Yeah,
his
but
thing.
no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do. What is he, like a director on a cruise line or something? I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Because to be honest, like there are guys like Ferris that I knew in high school,
Mhm.
and once they got out of high school, it didn't pan out too well for them.
Yeah,
Like reality really hit them hard.
Yeah.
And
He's smart though. I think he would probably be very wealthy and successful in whatever he put his mind to.
Yeah.
So even if he became a tire salesman, he'd probably be like the king of car tires. You know
King
what I mean?
car tires. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know. Wait, where did his dad work? His dad was
Something with advertising, I think.
Yeah,
right?
I can see him being an advertising guy.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
something with advertising, because that was the whole lunch. It says you got to
Yeah.
spend more advertising dollars, give us more money so we can.
Yeah, he'd be like a
this.
crazy,
Yeah.
crazy fun, like over the top advertising guy. And
Yeah.
you know, people be calling, well, you got to get Ferris on this one. You got to get Ferris on the account.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Which here's my did you know moment.
Okay.
And there's hints of it throughout the movie. But did you know that there were two other siblings?
Wait, what?
Yeah. There are two other siblings. There was another brother and another boy, another girl.
Did not know that.
That they filmed throughout the whole movie. There's scenes with them. But when they came to the final cut, they cut them because it just didn't work.
Oh, so there wasn't anything in it.
No, not in the movies. But like if you look on the refrigerator, there's all these kid drawings. In the dad's office, there's a family photo with the kids in it.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, they completely. Can you imagine those kids? Like, oh, we're in this movie, and they're like, you're not.
Oh, that's
kids.
lame, right? And now it's like this 80s icon.
Right,
And can you
yeah.
imagine you're an adult now and you're like, yeah, I was in Ferris
I was the
Bueller's-
first. No, you weren't.
No, you weren't.
Well, if you look at that family photo in the back,
Oh, that
I
would
was
be.
there.
How could you live with that?
Yeah, I know.
How could you live with that? Oh my
But
gosh.
I think it plays better. I think.
Yeah, it plays better, and I mean, it's
Yeah.
like it's a day in the life of Ferris. They ran off to school in the
Mhm.
morning.
Yeah.
Although they should have been home at the end.
I
of the
don't
day,
even know
though.
where they would have fit in the whole story, because they get the mom and the dad that work. You know, but
Yeah,
They were there.
It wouldn't have worked.
yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
that's crazy.
All right, well, let's get into it.
The
Trivia battle. How confident are you feeling about Ferris Bueller?
Not very confident because I just sat back and just enjoyed the movie.
Yeah, me neither.
Wasn't taking notes, but I have seen it a lot. I think I had a VHS copy that I just played over and over and
I
over
had
and
a
over and over
VHS
again.
copy too.
Oh, so that doesn't help me because you had one too.
There's only one bit of trivia that I knew, like, this is gonna be one for sure. I have to memorize what this is.
Okay.
So
All right.
All right, trivia battle. Who goes first? I mean, new season.
good question.
Well, you did give up the Duke to reset season 3. Wait, season 3? That's all right.
Yeah, we're in season 3.
Yeah, season 3.
I think the champion of season 2's trivia battles should decide who goes first and who goes second.
Wait, who's the champion? I mean, I lost the
That's
blood.
probably me.
It is probably you.
All right, you can go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
Yeah.
All right.
And how many questions do we have?
We have 9 questions.
9 questions?
With 4
Nine?
opportunities
9
for
questions.
a bonus
Hmm.
point.
No one gets it, but all right.
All
You
right.
mean like 9 absences?
9 times, yes.
9
I don't know why I like
times.
that. 9 times.
Hmm.
All right.
My quote from the movie is, which I used a lot. Well, I substituted the name was Ferris Bueller. You're my hero. I had a guy that I worked with, and I was, you're my hero. I don't want to say his name just in case he's listening.
Yeah.
Maybe he remembers. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. First question, which Michael basically gave you the answer to.
I kind of knew that was going to be a question. Go ahead and ask me.
How many sick days had Ferris already taken this semester, including the one he takes in the movie?
Well, his absences was 9.
Yes.
I think
But
it said 6.
since you guys basically just covered that, we're going to turn the bonus question for this into the actual question, which is, what does Ferris Bueller say he would have to do in order to make it 10?
Cough up a lung.
That's correct.
Yep. That's good.
All right.
Good one.
Next question.
He's running out of sicknesses.
Yeah. I just love how he's home. He's just calling the kids up, talking to them.
Yeah.
Calling them on the phone in the school payphone.
Yeah.
Let me talk to somebody. Who's there?
Yeah. Hey, Ferris.
Okay.
Question number 2. Name 3 symptoms that Ferris claimed to have that kept him home from school.
One was the clammy hands. He was dizzy or delirious was one of the two.
I'm not saying anything.
And just, I guess, a stomach ache.
You have 2 out
Yeah,
of
I
the
know I have
3.
two.
And you did all 3. Because he extensively covers
Don't say which
2.
2 I had, because if he's going to steal,
I
he's got
won't.
to.
You wanna go
Yeah,
with
but
the
I was
steal?
pretty confident in the 2 that I know, but I can't think of the other one.
Yeah. It was the cold, clammy hands.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want stomach upset. You don't do the fever because the fever.
They would take you to the doctor.
You got
he,
a
goes
nervous-
over, he goes over his whole
Yeah.
process.
If
Yeah.
you do the fever, you're going to get a nervous mom.
There's one other thing that he says.
He bends over, licks his palm.
He doesn't go over it in his breakdown, but he does tell his parents that he's feeling this.
Oh, I know what it is. I think I know what it is. I think I know what I missed.
I don't know.
I don't know if we've ever done a volleyball steal, but I guess you can go for it.
If you got you should get.
Is
the
it
point, 'cause I
dry
don't-
mouth?
No.
Oh,
All right.
no?
All right, no one gets this one.
All right.
What is it?
He says he's seen spots.
Oh.
And he does the whole bit with his sister of, is that you?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, no one got that
All
one.
right.
Have you ever seen spots? I've never seen spots.
Yeah, I've seen spots.
Really?
Yeah.
What do they look like? Are they like multicolored or?
Like when you get hit in the head.
No, like
I've
if you're
seen stars.
No, if you're I've had that, but
Yeah.
like when you're sick and you're seeing spots, I was
No, I've never seen spots
Oh.
like that. No.
just imagine a Bugs Bunny cartoon when you yeah. Okay.
All
Anyways,
right, this is an easy one.
is that for me?
Yes, it's for you. You get the easy ones.
All right, I get the easy one.
What year is the Ferrari California that Cameron Stad owns?
Jesus.
Oh, 1961.
Hey, you chose who went first.
I know.
Don't come at me.
250 GT, California.
1961, that's correct. And for a bonus half point, how many of said car were made?
Well, less than 100.
Yeah, that's
You don't. Oh, you guess you do hear that in the movie.
Yeah, he says it in
Yeah.
the movie.
He does say that in the movie. Okay.
Yeah. That's when he memorized, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
wanted that one so bad.
Yeah. Well, I knew, of course, that was going to be a question.
Mm.
All right, next question.
All right, what's the hard one?
What number is on the Red Wings jersey?
9.
All right. And for a bonus half
Gordie Howe.
point.
Wait,
All right.
dang, I would not have known that. I seriously would not have known that.
Oh, it's because sports.
Sports.
Yep.
All right. Next
Wait,
question.
Red Wing. What is that?
Detroit Red Wings. It's hockey.
Oh, what is hockey? Okay, it kind of had a hockey vibe to it.
Yeah.
All right.
Next question. A guy taking up a collection for Ferris's new kidney calls his sister a blank after she slaps the collection can out of his hands. What does he call her?
Something wench.
You're close.
A
But
vile.
I feel like I need the whole thing.
Vile wench. No, it's not vile wench. It was funnier than that. Someday you're going to need a favor from Ferris. I don't know. You know?
Michael, do you think you know the whole thing?
Was it ungrateful winch or unsympathetic something? I don't know.
Okay, I'm not going to award points on that one, just because you both had the half of it. I feel like
Was wench part of the name?
yes, it was you heartless wench.
Heartless.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
All right, next question. What's the name of the parking garage Ferris brings the car to?
Oh man.
We see it multiple times.
Yeah, you do. I don't know. I can tell you it's the yellow sign. I can tell you how the font is. I think it's got a 1 in the middle. I don't know.
Steel.
A1 parking garage. I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's what it was, wasn't it?
Wasn't
That's really close.
it? A1.
It was A1EZ.
Easy.
A1EZ.
Yeah.
I'll give you a half for that since you
Oh,
basically gave me
man.
about half.
I was a guess though. That was a wild.
So he gets a
guess.
half.
Or you can not get a half.
No, don't give me the point because that was literally a
All right,
wild
no.
guess. I wasn't even like looking.
I
at-
guessed
Okay, so
1.
you
He
didn't
guessed
know-
A1.
I wasn't even looking in my
Alright.
mind's eye to visualize it. I just.
All right, then we'll go to the next question. All right.
All right, go to the next question. Wait,
It's
who's
yours.
Is it mine? Okay.
Who does Ferris claim to be in order to get a table at the fancy restaurant?
Oh my
Oh,
gosh! that's
come
so-
on.
That's so
this
easy.
is like the most famous name.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I didn't think it was.
Really?
Abe Froman, the Sausage King of Chicago.
Everyone
All
knows
right.
freaking Abe Froman, the
Okay.
sausage king of Chicago.
I wouldn't have remembered that, honestly.
You are Abe Froman.
You're the sausage king of Chicago.
It's so funny how he like hesitates. Like,
Yeah,
yes, that's me.
Yeah.
yeah,
I am.
I am. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Next question.
He's trying to decide like, would it be possible for him?
You know what's funny? Like in my mind, I had this thought, but like for some reason, I felt like there's a scene where the real Abe Froman comes into the restaurant. I guess is that not a real thing? I was for some reason I thought like that did happen. You thought that too? See, freaking, we live in different universes. Mandela effect.
I thought the same thing, but I just
Maybe
was
it's
like,
a deleted scene or something. I don't know.
Maybe. I
like he
don't.
comes in, he tries to get his table, and he's like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
there's a conflict there.
Huh. It's weird.
All right. What hard one do I get next?
Next question. Why does Mr. Rooney get his car towed?
Oh, because he's parked in front of the fire hydrant.
That's it.
Which he got way too many tickets for that. Like,
Yeah,
it
they
should
don't
have been
count-
just one.
They don't come by. They should drive by, see the ticket, move on.
Right.
Yeah.
Too many tickets. Yeah, you don't skip.
Yeah. But it's
piling
funny.
up tickets.
But it's
But it's
funny.
funny.
It's funny. They're piling up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It also, the very attentive viewer might also have noticed that he also lost his keys by trying to unlock the car as it was driving away.
Oh.
Yeah.
So he lost his wallet, keys, and his car.
And
all
a
in that
shoe.
afternoon.
It's right.
And a
It's
shoe.
true.
And a shoe. And some blood. His foot, man, was like all bloody. I was like, ooh, man, that dog chewed him up.
All right, and this is the last question. How many miles were on the Ferrari when Cameron realized running the car in reverse wasn't working?
Oh, man.
I don't know precise, but I can get close.
Well, the thing is, they didn't see it in the garage. They never saw it in the garage. They saw it only when he said how many miles were on the car.
No, they show it twice. They do show it twice. Yes. They show it when Ferris is driving, and then they show it when it's in the garage, when he goes to check on it.
Oh, so it's gonna be two different numbers.
Is it Ferris?
I'm looking for the last number.
Oh man, because I know it was either 302 or 304 when they saw it driving. So I don't know what it was. Because for some reason I thought they didn't look. I thought he said, Ferris, it's not coming off. And it's like, really? They looked at it? Was there a quick shot?
Yeah. I think I might have this.
I must have looked down.
But I'm not 100%.
Dog probably was.
You want to go for the steal?
I have no idea. I thought that wasn't in the shot.
330? That was close, but not it, huh? Dang it.
I mean, if you guys both made a guess, whoever's closer, I would say, I mean, you're both pretty, you're slightly closer, just slightly, by like.
Who is?
Like, yeah, how far away from downtown to Cameron's house?
So you're right about it being, it was 30, I think 302.
It was 302 when he saw it. It was like
when
302.
He first saw it.
Yeah.
But, all right.
It was probably like 25 miles.
320. It's 328, 329.
It is 316 and halfway in between 1 and 2.
Oh, wow. They're pretty close to the house.
Yeah. So they had gone about 10-ish miles.
Yeah.
That was the number. All right, that's trivia. You win by half a point.
Who?
You know who I did?
Yeah, you
Hot
did.
dog.
By half a point. You're close.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks. They could have they should have just jacked up the front of the car.
That's not how the Tukey works. It's an anti-award.
No. We talked about that.
I wasn't clear. I still wasn't clear what we're doing.
No.
Okay.
It's a Dookie.
Yeah.
You don't want the
whatever. It's going to be a long season.
Nice try.
All right. Well, congratulations. You're starting off the year great and grand.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, any final thoughts in your ranking?
Well, my ranking was a 7.9. Really fun. Great movie.
Yeah.
Very well done. Not a blockbuster. It's not a
no
crazy, but a great movie.
Yeah.
Comedy. People, comedy. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said a what? 7.9. 7.9.
Yeah.
I'm a bit higher. I'm like an 8.4.
Okay.
This is just a great, solid film.
Yeah.
And the thing that I read about like how if you were to show someone what was the 80s or what's an 80s movie, like that's probably not far off. Like it really is just it's great all around. Like I said, the only like little complaint was the thing at the sister at the end, but no, just really good. And I've come to love, and I feel like every time I watch a John Hughes movie, I like this guy more and more. Like just who he is and the movies that he made, the stories that he told.
Mm-hmm.
And I love too, like he was really always strong on, I'm filming in Chicago. I love Chicago.
Yeah.
And like he really highlighted his city in this. Like he showed all these aspects, the suburb, even though the suburbs were all like Ferris Bueller's home was in LA and all the running was here in LA.
Yeah.
But yeah, like him showing off the city, like, hey, these are the fun things to do. If we're going to call off school, this is what we're going to do. And yeah, it's like a good love letter to the city that he loved. And people didn't like that he always filmed in Chicago, but he said, no, that's his town.
That's his town. Yeah.
And yeah, so John Hughes is just one of the greats. And, I know he died relatively young, but even just having his catalog of movies, it wasn't like I wanted more, but just a genius guy.
Mm-hmm.
Genius guy. And I always love his movies. So those are my final thoughts. Love the movie, love Ferris, love the character. I'm glad they didn't make a sequel. I'm really glad that they really hung in there with that. This is a one day in one moment with this person.
Yeah.
However, I do like to think, man, whatever happened to this character? Like, I like to what became of him? What became of Sloane? What became of?
Did they get married?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did Cameron snap out of it?
Josh, I was telling you earlier, Josh Gad did during COVID. He had his podcast was he bring in the cast of these movies, and they talked about that. Like, or Josh Gad had this whole. I thought like this is what the sequel could be. It could be about Ferris and Sloane's kid trying to get the one up on him, and instead like Ferris Bueller almost takes the role of the Rooney character. Which again, not gonna work.
Oh, I think I've heard that before.
Not gonna work.
Yeah.
But yeah, and they had a Jake Gyllenhaal, I don't know, that actor says, yeah, you'll be perfect. You'll be Ferris's kid. So yeah. Anyways. Yeah. Glad they only made one.
Yeah.
So all right. Well, that does it. First episode of season 3 is now in the books.
Woo-hoo.
So, yeah, we got some great movies coming up. This isn't the only John Hughes movie we're going to talk about this season. So, again, please like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you don't miss an episode. We got some good ones coming up this year. And, yeah, like I said, we have a goal to reaching 2 to 3 more subscribers.
2 to 3 more.
So
maybe
please,
4.
Yeah.
Maybe 4.
Help us
Yeah.
meet that goal.
Yeah.
And, yeah. All right. Well, see you in the next one.
What, you're still watching? Turn off the computer. Go play outside. Get some fresh air. Go.